great ingredients, served piping hot. A perfect combination, like you and Pick n Pay.
So it's a different Michael in studio with me today. Michael Wener, good morning. Welcome
Lisa.
to
Hello.
Expresso. Now, we celebrate Easter or Passover in the Christian calendar and Christian tradition.
Right.
And you celebrate Passover.
Correct.
And you're going to show us how to make
We're going to do like the most traditional thing called Mtza balls.
Mtza balls.
Okay, and it's actually quite simple. And it's everybody seems to have a favorite way of doing it. This is the way I was taught by my mother and my grandmother, and something that's been passed down. And we're going to attempt it.
Now, you're a Jewish man, and your mom and your grandmother taught you to cook.
Yeah.
Doesn't it get passed on from woman to woman?
Well, it's called Passover. Not Passover.
That's our joke we've been practicing all day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's start. What do we need?
Okay, so we're going to start off with, it's a 12-egg mixture. So we're going to beat up our eggs, just very loosely. And into this mixture, we're going to add salt.
Yes.
Which we've got 2 teaspoons of salt.
There it is.
It's already pre-measured. That goes into the mixture. And then we're also going to add to that 2 teaspoons of cinnamon.
Here's the cinnamon.
There we go, that's the cinnamon. It's 4 of those. 2, 3, 4 of those. So
Do you remember the first time you made this with your grandmother and your mom?
I had like fond memories, you know. Growing up in a Jewish household, food is just like so important. I mean, I remember prior to the Passover festival, my grandmother would move in about a week beforehand and start cooking and doing all these nice things. And then as she got a bit older, my mom took over. And I think I was then of age where I could understand what was going on. And I've always had a liking to go into the kitchen. All right, so to that.
Now you've taken over.
And now I've taken over, absolutely.
Why don't we get our viewers to tell us about their favourite Passover or Easter memory on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC3. What traditions do you follow over Passover or over Easter? Let us know on our Facebook page. What are you adding now?
Right, so now we're adding, it's called chicken fat, but it, in former years they used proper chicken fat. We now use a substitute. It's a vegetable-based fat, which is braised onions, sunflower seed, and a shortening, which allows it to, become almost, how can I explain to you, like a margarine type thing, which is quite firm. Anyway, we add that to our mixture, and then we also add the equivalent of a container of sunflower oil, the same amount. And I'm sure all those Jewish listeners, viewers at home are horrified at the way we do it. But as I say, everybody has their own recipe.
Well, they must let us know. It's my Facebook page. Let us know.
And then we mix all that together until it's dissolved.
And I'm sure this is something your great-great-grandmother taught your great-grandmother taught your grandmother.
Yeah, it's just something that's been passed down. And it was never a teaspoon of this and a teaspoon of that. It was a pinch of this, and it was a pinch of that.
A handful of this.
And a handful of that, and then until it tasted right. Right, so that is your basic mixture. There's nothing more that gets added to that other than the matzah meal. Now, the matzah meal is basically a packet of the matzah crackers, which they just grind up very fine, and that becomes the meal that goes into the mixture. We start off by adding half a packet, because what happens is it tends to thicken as you stir it.
Yes.
And the idea with this knedel recipe is that you don't want to over thicken the recipe, because otherwise your knedels become very hard. And the idea is that you want it to be light and fluffy in the pot. Okay, right.
Ready in case you need me to throw in
Now we're going to add in. Now we're going to start adding it in little by little until the consistency is right.
Tell me about the matzos, because we had a great chat before the time about matzah.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure in terms of how long the process of making matzah lasts.
I did try and research it as well, and I couldn't find out, so maybe someone could tell us on our Facebook page.
Right. But from what I understand is from the time that the matzah consists of, it's just flour, and water. And I think there may be a pinch of salt, no, but I don't even think there is salt. I think it's just flour and water. From the time that the water hits the flour to the time that the actual baking operation is over, that process can't last longer than, I think it's 13 minutes.
Yes.
I think it's 13 minutes, but maybe one of your viewers can
let us know
and be a bit more specific.
SABC3. We're all learning here. That's the nice thing about Espresso. It's a learning environment.
Correct, and that's how long it actually takes. And if it takes longer than that, it's no good. And if it takes less time than that, it's probably underbaked. All right, let's come back to this mixture. Right, now the mixture is ready. So we haven't actually used a full packet. This is a 375 gram
While you do
packet.
that, our keyword is on the screen, and you can just SMS it to 33728. The recipe list will be sent to your mobile phone. Carry on, Michael.
All right, so we've probably used about 300 grams of the 375 grams. Now, the idea is to let this just stand for 5 minutes, because it will thicken.
Yeah.
You can, if you've got a bit of extra time on your hands, put it into the fridge for another extra 5 minutes, but it now definitely needs to stand for a while.
Okay, so what are we going to do? We're going to cheat a bit because we don't have 5 minutes.
Correct, okay.
We've got about a minute and a half.
Yeah, all right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to just get a bowl, put a bit of water into it, because the idea is, and you have to wash your hands.
Yes, we've done that.
Yeah, you have to wash your hands because, and you've now got a pot of salted boiling water going. And I'm going to just move that one side because otherwise I'm going to get burnt.
That's fine.
Okay. And we now roll it into little balls. And we drop it into the boiling water.
Okay. May I try?
Absolutely, absolutely. And this is now going to cook for 30 minutes. And it should rise
so you
up.
just leave it in the hot water for 30 minutes?
Yeah, you let it cook for 30 minutes and it should rise up to double the size now.
I have to say, this is the first time I've made this. I've never made this before.
Okay. And this can be now used, once it's cooked, it can be used for many things.
Yes.
You can either have it in your chicken soup, as we will show the viewers.
Yeah.
Because we have a pot going over there. Or you can take it once it's cooked and you can bake it.
Yeah.
As a dumpling.
Oh, really?
So you can, then we make a thing called a tzimmus, which is a carrot stew.
Yeah.
It's sweet carrots, and it's got prunes and sweet potato, etc., etc. So let me stop the last one.
Wow.
Okay.
So we can have fun with this.
All right, so there's your knödels.
Oh, I've taken your water away, yeah?
All right. So that's now going to do its thing. It's going to cook for 30 minutes. So what you can do is you can then take your tzimmus, which is your carrots, your sweet carrot stew with prunes and sweet potato, and you can take those knödels and bake it off into the tzimmus itself. All right.
Do you need a bowl?
We need a bowl. I want
I'll
to
get you another one.
dish out what the end product looks like.
There we go, wait. Hang on. There we go.
There we go.
Sometimes I don't know where things are in the kitchen.
Okay,
I'm like a real woman in the kitchen.
And that is the end result
Wow.
of the knödel. It's gone to double the size, and it's the most delicious, delicious.
It looks gorgeous.
Delicious. One more,
Okay, Michael.
and
Wow.
that is chicken soup and knödels. It doesn't
Chicken
get
soup and knödel.
knödels, and it doesn't get more Pesach than that. That is what it's all about. It's like a hot cross. It's like a hot cross bun for Easter.
Yes.
So it's soup and knödel for Pesach.
How do I wish you?
You wish me a kosher, happy Passover.
A kosher, happy
Give me a hug
Passover.
as well.
And I'll give you a hug.
Lovely.
I like that. We're going to do
Okay.
that. Well, happy Passover, happy kosher Passover.
Are you joining us for Seder?
I hope I get an invite for Seder.
It's there on the table.
Fantastic. I
There you
will be
go.
there.
All right.
And you know what? We've just learned, and I've spent some time with you and your family, and very, very opening, very welcoming family. But our special family on Espresso today are busy chatting to Kat. Over to you guys.